Manchester United training update. The full story behind the 24-man squad for Everton. Welcome back to United Daily Updates, your number one trusted source for everything Manchester United. Before we get into today's story, I need you to do something for me. If you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it right now. We work incredibly hard every single day to bring you the most accurate, reliable, and honest Manchester United content on the internet. Our community is built on trust, and we never share clickbait or false information. Just real news, real analysis, and real passion for this great football club. So hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and become part of our growing family of Red Devil supporters. The question every United fan is asking right now: are you ready for this? After 2 long weeks of international football, Manchester United are finally back in action. The international break always feels like it lasts forever, does it not? You watch your players scattered across the globe playing for their countries, and all you can think about is when they will be back wearing the red shirt of Manchester United. Well, the wait is over. Monday night at Old Trafford. Manchester United vs Everton. Premier League football is back, and it could not come soon enough. But here is the big question that everyone wants answered. Who is fit? Who is injured? Who will Ruben Amorim pick for this crucial match? The training pictures from Friday afternoon have started to give us some answers. And let me tell you, there is some really good news, some concerning news, and some surprising developments that every Manchester United fan needs to know about. In this article, I am going to take you through everything we learned from that Friday training session. I am going to break down the 24-man squad that Amorim has available. I am going to talk about the key players who are back, the important players who are missing, and the young talents who are pushing for their chance. By the time you finish reading this, you will know exactly what to expect from Manchester United on Monday night. You will understand the challenges Amorim faces with his team selection. And you will have all the information you need to make your own predictions about how United might line up against Everton. So let's dive in. Let's talk about the current state of Manchester United squad as we head into a massive Premier League fixture. Where do Manchester United stand in the league? Before we talk about who is fit and who is not, we need to understand what is at stake here. This Everton match is not just another game. It is not just 3 points. It is an opportunity for Manchester United to make a real statement about where they are heading this season. Right now, Manchester United sit in 7th place in the Premier League table. They are level on points with Tottenham Hotspur, who occupy 5th place. Just one single point separates United from Sunderland in 4th place. And Chelsea, sitting in 3rd place, are only 2 points ahead of Manchester United. Can you see what I am getting at here? The table is incredibly tight. The gap between 7th place and 3rd place is tiny. One good run of results could see Manchester United climb several positions. One bad run could see them drop down the table and lose touch with the teams competing for Champions League qualification. This is why every single match matters right now. This is why the Everton game on Monday night carries so much importance. Win this match, and Manchester United could find themselves right in the mix for a top 4 finish. Lose this match, and suddenly the gap to the teams above them starts to look more difficult to close. The positive news is that Manchester United have been showing signs of improvement recently. The team has gone 5 matches without losing. That is a solid unbeaten run. In their last 7 games, they have only lost once. This is progress. This is consistency. This is exactly what Ruben Amorim has been working towards since he arrived at the club. After a shaky start to the season, things are starting to click. Players are understanding the new manager's tactical system. They are learning what he expects from them in different situations. They are building partnerships on the pitch. They are developing that understanding that comes from working together day after day on the training ground. But we cannot get ahead of ourselves. 5 games unbeaten is good, but it is not enough to say that all the problems are solved. Manchester United need to keep this momentum going. They need to turn this unbeaten streak into a winning streak. They need to start putting real pressure on the teams above them in the table. And that work starts on Monday night against Everton. A home game. Old Trafford. The fans behind them. This is exactly the kind of match that Manchester United need to be winning if they have serious ambitions for this season. Do not underestimate Everton. I know what some of you might be thinking. Everton are 13th in the table. They lost their last match before the international break. Manchester United should beat them comfortably at Old Trafford. But hold on a minute. Let me tell you why we should never make the mistake of underestimating any opponent in the Premier League, especially Everton. First, look at their recent form. Yes, they are 13th in the table. But in their last 5 matches, they have won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1. That is not terrible form. That is the kind of mixed results that many mid-table teams produce. They are capable of beating good teams on their day. Second, their most recent match was a 2-0 defeat against Fulham. That result was disappointing for them. But here is what is interesting. Reports suggest that the loss has not damaged the mood in the Everton camp. David Moyes and his players apparently remain optimistic as they prepare to visit Old Trafford. Why would they be optimistic? Because Everton have a recent history of getting results at Old Trafford. They know how to make life difficult for Manchester United. They understand that if they can stay organised defensively and maybe catch United on the break, they have a genuine chance of taking points away from this match. Third, and this is important, David Moyes is managing Everton. Say what you want about Moyes and his time as Manchester United manager, but the man knows this club inside and out. He understands the pressure of playing at Old Trafford. He knows what Manchester United fans expect. He knows how to prepare his teams for big occasions like this. Moyes will have watched videos of Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. He will have analysed how United play. He will have identified their strengths and weaknesses. He will have a game plan designed specifically to frustrate United and exploit any vulnerabilities. Everton will come to Old Trafford on Monday night with a clear tactical approach. They will defend deep. They will stay compact. They will try to hit United on the counter-attack. They will make every single thing as difficult as possible for the home team. So no, this will not be an easy match. Manchester United might be favourites based on league position and recent form, but they will need to be at their best to break down a well-organised Everton side. They will need patience. They will need quality. They will need that cutting edge in the final third. This is why the fitness of key players becomes so crucial. Which brings us to the main story. What did we learn from Friday's training session about who is available for selection? The best news: Lisandro Martinez is back in training. Let me start with the news that will make every Manchester United fan smile. Lisandro Martinez was fully involved in Friday's training session. And from what we could see in the pictures, he looked sharp, focused, and ready to go. For anyone who has been following Manchester United closely over the past few weeks, you will know that Martinez has been working his way back from injury. He has been training with the squad for about 2 weeks now. He has been gradually building up his fitness. He has been doing the work needed to get himself ready for competitive action again. And now it looks like he might be available for selection against Everton. This is absolutely massive news for Ruben Amorim and for Manchester United. Why is Martinez so important? Let me explain. This is not just any defender we are talking about. This is a player who completely transforms how Manchester United play when he is on the pitch. Martinez brings an intensity and aggression to the defense that is hard to find. He is a warrior. He throws himself into every challenge. He wins duels all over the pitch. He makes attackers think twice before trying to run at him. He sets the tone for how the entire team defends. But Martinez is not just a defender. He is also one of Manchester United's best passers. He can play the ball out from the back with incredible accuracy. He can switch the play from one side of the pitch to the other. He can break lines with his passing and start attacks from deep positions. Watch Martinez play and you will notice something interesting. He is comfortable stepping out of defense with the ball at his feet. He does not panic under pressure. He trusts his technical ability. He makes the right decisions in possession. This ability to play out from the back is crucial to how modern teams want to build attacks. Martinez also brings leadership. He communicates constantly with his defensive partners. He organizes the back line. He makes sure everyone knows their jobs. He leads by example with his commitment and work rate. When Martinez is not playing, you can see the difference in Manchester United's defense. The team does not have the same organization. They do not have the same aggressiveness. They do not have the same quality in possession from the back. So the fact that he was fully involved in training on Friday is brilliant news. It suggests that he is fit, healthy, and ready to contribute again. Now, here is the question. Will Ruben Amorim throw Martinez straight back into the starting 11? Or will he be cautious and bring him back gradually? This is a genuine dilemma for the manager. On one hand, Martinez is such an important player that you want him on the pitch as soon as possible. Having him in the team makes Manchester United better. Having him available gives the defense more quality and experience. On the other hand, Martinez has been out for several weeks. He has not played competitive football during that time. Is it wise to start him in a Premier League match when he might not be fully match fit? Could that increase the risk of him picking up another injury? My guess, and this is just speculation, is that Amorim might be careful with Martinez. He might start him on the bench and bring him on in the second half if needed. That would give Martinez some game time to build up his match fitness without risking him for the full 90 minutes. But either way, whether he starts or comes off the bench, having Martinez available is a huge boost. It gives Amram more options. It strengthens the squad. It makes Manchester United better. This is the kind of news that can lift the mood around the club. This is the kind of news that makes you more confident about Monday night's match. The worrying news: Kobbie Mainoo was not in training. Now let's talk about the news that is causing concern among Manchester United fans. Kobbie Mainoo was not spotted in Friday's training session. And this is worrying for several reasons. Let me give you some background. Mainoo missed the match against Tottenham Hotspur before the international break because of an injury. At the time, the report suggested that the injury was minor. Nothing too serious. The expectation was that Mainoo would use the international break to recover and would be ready for the Everton match. But the fact that he was not involved in training on Friday, just 3 days before the match, raises serious questions. Is the injury more serious than we were told? Is Mainoo still not fully fit? Or is there something else going on? We do not have official answers to these questions yet. Manchester United have not released any statement about Mainoo's fitness. The medical staff have not provided any updates. We are left to wonder and worry about whether he will be available for Monday night. And this is a big deal because Mainoo has become an increasingly important player for Manchester United this season. Let me explain why losing him would be such a blow. Mainoo is one of those young players who seems to have been playing professional football for years, even though he is still very young. He has a maturity about his game that is rare in someone his age. He does not look fazed by the pressure of playing for Manchester United. He does not seem overwhelmed by the occasion of playing at Old Trafford in front of 75,000 people. What does Mainoo bring to the team? First, he brings energy. He covers a lot of ground in midfield. He presses opponents. He tracks runners. He wins the ball back. He gives Manchester United that dynamism in the middle of the park that is so important in modern football. Second, he brings technical quality. Mainoo is comfortable on the ball. He can receive passes under pressure. He can turn and face forward. He can carry the ball from deep positions into more advanced areas. This ability to progress the ball through the thirds is incredibly valuable. Third, he brings creativity. Mainoo can play passes that break lines. He can find teammates in pockets of space. He can create chances for the attackers. He has that vision and awareness that separates good midfielders from average ones. Fourth, he brings versatility. Mainoo can play different roles in midfield depending on what the team needs. He can be more defensive and focus on winning the ball back. He can be more advanced and focus on creating chances. He can play as part of a 2 or part of a 3. This flexibility is useful for any manager. So you can see why Mainoo's absence from training is concerning. If he cannot play against Everton, Ruben Amorim will need to find a different solution in midfield. He will need to change his tactical setup. He will need to ask other players to do jobs that Mainoo has been doing. Of course, Manchester United have other midfield options. Bruno Fernandes will definitely play. Casemiro was spotted in training. Manuel Ugarte was also involved. Mason Mount is available. So Amorim has choices. But none of these players offer exactly what Mainoo offers. They all bring different qualities. And while they are all good players, replacing Mainoo's energy, creativity, and ability to progress the ball is not straightforward. The hope among Manchester United fans right now is that Mainoo's absence from Friday's training was just precautionary. Maybe the medical staff decided to give him an extra day of rest. Maybe he has a minor issue that they do not want to risk making worse. Maybe he will train on Saturday or Sunday and be declared fit for Monday night. But until we get official confirmation, this remains a real concern. And if Mainoo does miss the match, it will be a significant blow to Manchester United's chances of beating Everton comfortably. Harry Maguire also missing from training. Another player who was not involved in Friday's training session was Harry Maguire. The experienced centre-back was nowhere to be seen in the pictures, which raises more questions about Manchester United's defensive options. Now, unlike with Kobbie Mainoo, there has been less information floating around about Maguire's situation. We do not know for certain whether he is injured, whether he is being rested, or whether there is some other reason for his absence from training. Maguire's time at Manchester United over the past few years has been complicated. He has faced a lot of criticism from fans and media. He has been the subject of countless debates about whether he is good enough for Manchester United. He has seen his role in the team reduced as newer defenders have been signed. But here is what we should remember about Harry Maguire. He is an experienced international defender who has played at the highest level. He has captained Manchester United. He has played in World Cups and European Championships for England. He knows what it takes to perform in big matches. Yes, Maguire has his limitations. He is not the quickest defender. He can struggle against really fast attackers. He sometimes looks uncomfortable in systems that play a high defensive line. These are legitimate concerns. But Maguire also has strengths. He is good in the air. He is physically strong. He can organize a defense. He is calm in possession. On his day, he can be a solid and reliable defender. The absence of Maguire from Friday's training session might not be as concerning as Mainoo's absence, mainly because Maguire has not been a guaranteed starter recently anyway. But it still reduces Ruben Amorim's options slightly. Ideally, as a manager, you want all your players fit and available. You want to have as many choices as possible when you sit down to pick your starting 11. Every player being unavailable is one less option, one less possibility, one less way to solve a tactical problem. The good news is that Manchester United have other centre-back options. As we already discussed, Lisandro Martinez is back in training. Matthijs de Ligt was involved in the session. Lainery Euro was also there. So even without Maguire, Amorim has quality defenders to choose from. But we should still keep an eye on Maguire's situation. If he is carrying an injury, how serious is it? How long might he be out? If he is just being rested, why? Is there something the club knows that we do not? These are questions that will hopefully be answered in the coming days as we get closer to Monday night's match. Benjamin Sesko still recovering. As expected, Benjamin Sesko was not involved in Friday's training session. The young Slovenian striker is still working his way back from the injury he sustained before the international break. Let me remind you of what happened. Sesko picked up a knee injury during the match against Tottenham Hotspur. At the time, there was genuine concern about how serious the injury might be. Knee injuries can be tricky. They can keep players out for weeks or even months depending on the severity. The good news that came out shortly after the injury was that it was not as bad as first feared. The scans and medical assessments showed that Sesko had not done serious damage. There was no major structural problem. It was the kind of injury that would keep him out for a few weeks but not months. The latest information we have suggests that Sesko should be back in action by mid-December. That means he will definitely miss the Everton match. He will probably miss a few more games after that as well. But by the time December rolls around properly and the busy Christmas period starts, Sesko should be fit and available for selection again. Sesko's absence is frustrating for Manchester United because they are already a bit short on striking options. The club sold several forwards in recent transfer windows and have not fully replaced them. This has left United with fewer choices up front than most top teams have. Sesko himself had been starting to show some promising signs before he got injured. He was adapting to the physical demands of the Premier League. He was learning how to hold up the ball and bring teammates into play. He was starting to understand the movement patterns that Ruben Amorim wants from his striker. Yes, he was still raw. Yes, he was making mistakes. Yes, he was sometimes frustrating to watch. But these things are normal for a young striker adapting to a new league. Sesko is only 21 years old. He has time to develop and improve. The injury has interrupted that development process. Instead of building on those early performances and gaining more experience, Sesko has been stuck on the sidelines. Instead of playing matches and learning from them, he has been in the treatment room working on his rehabilitation. But there is a silver lining here. The injury is not serious. Mid-December is not that far away. By the time the really hectic part of the season arrives, with matches every few days over Christmas and New Year, Sesko should be back and ready to contribute. For now, though, for the Everton match and the games immediately after it, Manchester United will have to manage without their young striker. This puts more responsibility on the other attacking players. Joshua Zirkzee will need to lead the line effectively. Players like Brian Bumo and Mateus Cunha will need to chip in with goals from wider positions. The good news is that Manchester United have been scoring goals even without Sesko. The team has found ways to create chances and put the ball in the net. So while his absence is not ideal, it is not a disaster either. Young players getting their opportunity. One of the most exciting aspects of Friday's training session was seeing several young players involved with the first-team squad. Shea Lacey, Jack Fletcher, and Diego Leon were all spotted training alongside the established stars. This is particularly interesting when we talk about Shea Lacey. The young winger has been hovering around the first-team squad for several months now. He has been regularly involved in training sessions. He has been impressing coaches with his performances for the youth teams. He has been showing the kind of quality that makes people sit up and take notice. Lacey is the type of player that gets fans excited. He is quick. He is direct. He takes players on. He is confident on the ball. He plays without fear. These are qualities that supporters love to see, especially in young wingers. The fact that Lacey is now a regular presence in first-team training suggests that Ruben Amorim is keeping a close eye on his development. The manager clearly sees something in the young winger. Maybe Amorim is thinking about giving him opportunities in cup matches. Maybe he is considering using him from the bench in Premier League games. Maybe he just wants Lacey around the first team to learn from the experienced players. Whatever the reason, this exposure to first-team football is invaluable for Lacey's development. Even if he does not play a single minute against Everton, the experience of training with players like Bruno Fernandes and seeing how they prepare for big matches is incredibly educational. Jack Fletcher and Diego Leon are also young players who were involved in Friday's training. Both are highly rated within the academy system. Both are seen as players who could potentially make the step up to first-team football in the coming years. For Manchester United, maintaining a strong connection between the academy and the first team is crucial. This club has a proud history of developing young players and giving them opportunities. From the Busby Babes in the 1950s to the class of '92 in the 1990s, Manchester United have always valued homegrown talent. In recent years, that connection has weakened somewhat. The club has spent hundreds of millions of pounds on players from other teams while academy graduates have found opportunities limited. This has been frustrating for fans who remember when Manchester United always had homegrown players in the team. Ruben Amorim seems to understand the importance of the academy. At his previous clubs, he showed a willingness to give chances to young players when they deserved them. He did not promote youngsters just for the sake of it, but if they showed the right attitude and quality, he would consider them for the first team. So seeing players like Lacey, Fletcher, and Leon involved in training is encouraging. It suggests that the pathway from academy to first team still exists at Manchester United. It shows young players that if they work hard enough and show enough quality, they will get their opportunities. For the fans, it creates excitement about the future. Everyone loves seeing homegrown players succeed. Everyone enjoys watching a young player from the academy make their debut and grab their chance. These moments create a special connection between the fans and the players. So keep your eyes on these young players in the coming weeks and months. If injuries pile up or if Amorim needs to rotate his squad, do not be surprised if players like Shea Lacey get their opportunity to show what they can do on the big stage. The senior players looking sharp. While the young players were catching the eye, it was also good to see that the senior players looked sharp and ready in Friday's training session. The pictures showed players like Brian Buemo, Mateus Cunha, and Bruno Fernandes in good spirits, working hard and clearly enjoying themselves. This might seem like a small thing, but it is actually quite important. The mood in a training session can tell you a lot about the state of a football club. When players are smiling, laughing, and enjoying their work, it usually means things are going well behind the scenes. A positive atmosphere in training often translates to better performances on match day. Players who are happy and confident in training tend to play with more freedom and expression in matches. They make better decisions. They take more risks. They play with the kind of joy that fans love to see. The fact that key players like Mbumo and Cunha looked relaxed and happy in training suggests they have come back from the international break in good shape. They are not carrying injuries. They are not exhausted from international duty. They are ready to contribute against Everton. Both Mbumo and Cunha have been important attacking threats for Manchester United this season. They bring pace, movement, and goals from wide positions. They stretch defenses. They create space for other players. They are willing to take players on and make things happen in the final third. And then there is Bruno Fernandes. The Portuguese midfielder remains the creative heartbeat of this Manchester United team. Pretty much everything good that United do going forward flows through Fernandes. He dictates the tempo. He creates chances. He scores goals. He provides assists. Fernandes coming back from international duty looking fresh and sharp is brilliant news for Manchester United. He played for Portugal during the break, but apparently he has managed his workload well and is ready to perform at his best for his club. This is one of the challenges of international breaks. Players go away to represent their countries. They play matches in different time zones. They travel thousands of miles. They return to their clubs at different times and with varying levels of fatigue. Some players come back tired and need time to recover. Others come back injured and need treatment. A few come back in poor form because things did not go well with their national team. Managing all of this requires good communication between clubs and national teams. The fact that Manchester United's key players looked good in Friday's training suggests they have been managed well during the international break. They have not been overplayed. They have had enough rest. They are in the right physical and mental state to perform well against Everton. Breaking down the full 24-man training squad. Now let me give you a complete breakdown of all 24 players who were involved in Friday's training session. This will help you understand exactly what options Ruben Amorim has available as he prepares his team for Monday night. Goalkeepers: Lamens, Bayindir, Heaton, me. Manchester United have 4 goalkeepers in the training squad. This gives Amorim plenty of cover in that position. The first-choice goalkeeper will obviously start against Everton. Behind him are experienced backup options who can step in if needed. Having depth in the goalkeeping position is always important because an injury to your number one can cause major problems. Defenders: Dalot, Dorgu, Leon, Malaysia, Martinez, Heaven, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Euro, Shaw. The defensive group is interesting and gives Amorim several options. The big news here is Lisandro Martinez being back in training. His return gives United a massive boost at centre-back. Matthijs de Ligt and Lena Euro are also available, giving the manager quality options in the middle of defence. At full-back, Diogo Dalot and Nasser Mazraoui provide options on the right side. Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malaysia can play on the left, though Shaw has had his fitness issues and Malaysia is still working his way back to full sharpness after a long injury layoff. The inclusion of young defender Diego Leon shows that Amorim is looking at academy options. This is always encouraging to see. It shows that young players are being given opportunities to impress in training alongside the senior pros. Midfielders: Casemiro, Lacey, Mount, Jay Fletcher, Ugarte, Fernandes. The midfield group combines experience with youth. Casemiro brings experience and defensive stability. Bruno Fernandes provides creativity and goals. Manuel Ugarte offers energy and ball-winning ability. Mason Mount is an interesting one. His time at Manchester United has been frustrating so far with injuries limiting his impact. But when fit, Mount is a quality player who can contribute goals and assists from midfield. Hopefully he can stay healthy and show why Manchester United signed him in the first place. The presence of young players like Shea Lacey and Jack Fletcher in this group is encouraging. It shows they are being considered as potential options if needed. It gives them valuable experience of training at first-team level. Forwards: Xerxes, Ahmad, Cunha, Mbeumo. The forward options are somewhat limited with Benjamin Sesko injured. Joshua Xerxes will be the main striker option. He will be expected to lead the line and hold the ball up for teammates. Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha provide pace and goals from wide positions. Both have been important players for Manchester United this season. They stretch defences with their pace. They create chances. They score goals. They are exactly the kind of attacking threats that United need. Amad Diallo is also available as an attacking option. The young Ivorian has shown flashes of quality and could be used from the bench to change games. This 24-man squad gives Ruben Amorim decent options across all positions. Yes, there are concerns about Kobbie Mainoo potentially missing. Yes, Benjamin Sesko being out limits the striking options. But overall, there is enough quality and depth here to put together a strong team that should be capable of beating Everton. What starting 11 might Amorim pick? Based on who was in training on Friday and considering recent form and fitness, let me have a go at predicting what starting 11 Ruben Amorim might select for Monday night. This is just educated guesswork based on the available information, so do not hold me to it if I get things wrong. In goal, the first-choice goalkeeper will start. There is no reason to make changes there. He has been solid recently and deserves to keep his place. In defense, I think Amorim will be cautious about rushing Lisandro Martinez back. After several weeks out injured, it might be risky to start him for 90 minutes in a Premier League match. My prediction is that Martinez will be on the bench, ready to come on if needed in the second half. That would mean Matthijs de Ligt and Lena Euro continuing their partnership at centre-back. Both have been decent recently. They are building an understanding. They communicate well. Starting them together makes sense. At full-back on the right, Diogo Dalot seems like the obvious choice. He has been one of Manchester United's most consistent performers this season. On the left, it is a bit trickier. Luke Shaw has fitness concerns. Tyrell Malaysia is still finding his rhythm after a long injury. My guess is that Amorim will go with one of them, probably Shaw if he is fit enough. In midfield, this is where things get complicated if Kobbie Mainoo is not available. If Mainoo cannot play, Amorim will need to find a different balance in the middle of the park. Casemiro might start as the deepest midfielder, providing defensive cover and protection for the back four. Bruno Fernandes is guaranteed to play. He is the creative hub of the team. Everything goes through him. He will play in a more advanced role where he can create chances and link up with the forwards. The third midfield spot could go to Manuel Ugarte. He brings energy, intensity, and ball-winning ability. He can cover ground and help United win back possession. Alternatively, Mason Mount could play if Amorim wants more creativity in midfield. Up front, Joshua Xerxes will lead the line as the central striker. With Sesko injured, Xerxes is the main option in that position. He will be asked to hold the ball up, bring teammates into play, and score goals when chances come his way. On the wings, Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha seem like the best options. Both have been in good form. Both offer pace and directness. Both can create and score goals. They give Manchester United width and attacking threat from wide areas. Of course, this is all speculation. Ruben Amorim might have completely different ideas. He might surprise us with his team selection. He might make tactical changes based on how he specifically wants to approach this Everton match. But based on what we saw in Friday's training session and what we know about recent form, that lineup would make sense. It would give Manchester United a good balance of defensive solidity, midfield control, and attacking threat. The tactical challenges Amorim faces. Let's think about the tactical challenges that Ruben Amorim faces as he prepares his team for Monday night. This is not just about picking your best 11 players. This is about creating a system that can break down Everton's defense and stop their counterattacks. David Moyes will set up Everton to be difficult to break down. They will defend deep. They will stay compact. They will close down space. They will make it hard for Manchester United to create clear chances. This is what Moyes does. This is how his teams operate. So how does Amorim solve this problem? How does he get his team to create chances against a well-organized defensive block? First, Manchester United will need patience. They cannot panic if they do not score in the first 20 minutes. They cannot start forcing things and taking wild shots from distance. They need to keep possession, keep probing, keep looking for openings in the Everton defense. Second, they will need movement. The forwards and midfielders need to keep moving, keep rotating positions, keep dragging Everton defenders out of position. Static attacking play is easy to defend against. Dynamic movement is much harder to deal with. Third, they will need quality delivery from wide areas. If Everton defend deep, there might be opportunities to get crosses into the box. But those crosses need to be good. They need to beat the first man. They need to find United attackers in dangerous positions. Fourth, they will need to be ready for Everton's counterattacks. When you push forward trying to score, you leave space behind. Everton will try to exploit that space. They will try to catch United on the break. The defenders need to be alert to this danger. Fifth, they might need to change things during the match. If Plan A is not working, Amorim needs to have Plan B ready. That might mean bringing on different players. That might mean changing the formation. That might mean taking more risks in attack. This is where having players like Lisandro Martinez on the bench could be useful. If Everton are defending deep and United need more quality in possession to break them down, bringing on Martinez could help. His passing from defense could create new angles and opportunities. The tactical battle between Amorim and Moyes will be fascinating to watch. Both managers know each other's teams well. Both will have prepared carefully. Both will be looking for small advantages that could make the difference. Why this match matters so much. Let me remind you why this match against Everton is so important for Manchester United's season. Yes, it is just one game. Yes, there are still many matches to play after this. But this fixture could have a significant impact on how the rest of the season unfolds. First, it is a chance to keep the momentum going. Manchester United are unbeaten in 5 matches. That is good progress. Extending that run to 6 matches would build even more confidence. It would show that the team is genuinely improving under Amorim. Second, it is an opportunity to climb the table.